Hey y'all, welcome and welcome back to my channel. It's me, Kia Simone, and we are here to talk about these real bad marriages of Atlanta. I don't know how much longer they have left. The drama seems made up. Whether Ralph and Drew's drama is made up or not, I don't want to watch it. They need an intervention bad. I'm actually quite concerned that Drew and Ralph is going to end up going from Real Housewives of Atlanta to Snapped. But let's just get into it. I know this review is a little bit late, but I done been up laughing and screaming at y'all in them damn comments on Huntsville. And, you know, I had to gather myself. So here we go. Before we get into this, please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you have not already. So the episode kicks off at Sonia Richard Ross's house. It's just kind of an introduction to her family. We get to see that her parents, her sister's husband, and her sister's kids all are living in this house together. There's nothing really going on in this scene other than them fighting over beef patties that their mama brought back from Jamaica, and everybody got their own box, and somebody is eating them all down, and they about the street fight about who eating up all the beef patties. Other than that, it's really just an introduction to their family and family dynamic. And I really think what it is it's a setup for a spinoff. That's kind of what I think is going to happen. I think they're being brought in to Atlanta. We're seeing the whole family, and then it'll segue off into, you know, maybe their own series, which I wouldn't mind seeing because, yeah, I'm quite sick of seeing all these families and relationships in distress. Moving on. So we move on to Kenya is going by Sheree's chateau to gossip about Marlo's party. And before they can get to the gossiping, Sheree just got to bring Kenya on through her basement to put some respect on her name because Kenya was talking trash when Sheree had her housewarming about Sheree's unfinished basement and took them cameras down there and exposed Sheree's unfinished basement. So she wants to show her what the finished basement looks like. And it's absolutely fabulous. I don't know what kind of schemes and scams Sheree running. I don't know how many sweatsuits and things she's selling, but she has a beautiful house. That's one thing she definitely has. And Kenya, in her new non-villainous form, agrees. She tells Sheree, you know, she can't hate on it. It's absolutely beautiful. What else can you say? But this is gorgeous. So they sit down and start talking, and Sheree is telling Kenya that, you know, she really loves this new version of her. You know, she's very likable, and she's just a breath of fresh air because Kenya was something to deal with. So they sit down and start talking trash about Marlo's gala and, you know, how it wasn't what they thought it would be. And Sheree could have just worn her sneakers and y'all some haters. Because that was a nice event. I know people are going to give Marlo smoke because she's Marlo. But I thought it was a nice event. Sheree really is the last person who should be tripping about anybody's fashion events. But Sheree, in true bone carrier fashion, starts telling Kenya, you know, all the stuff Marlo said about her in response to the trash Kenya was talking about Marlo's event. She said, yeah, you know, she was talking about when you was living in that place with that white refrigerator. And when you was borrowing Lisa Ray's Range Rover. Kenya said, white refrigerator? Girl, at least I could pay my rent. I said, I know that's right. You gonna shade somebody for having a white refrigerator? At least she ain't living in the box for that month. And then Kenya said, I don't even know Lisa Ray, so how did I get to borrow her Range Rover? But okay. So Sheree is like, well, I ain't making this up. So let's call Sonia and let Sonia tell you what she said. So Sheree's still carrying on, girl. Yeah, she said you need to power wash your house too. Kenya said, but I do because my house is white. Sheree, it's okay, girl. I got a good guy. I got somebody who can help you. So, you know, Kenya, in true shady fashion, said, well, you know, turnabout is fair play. Since we talking about me, let's talk about you. So, Sheree brings up the fact that somehow Drew's phone got left behind. Sheree had Drew's phone. And so, Drew's assistant had to come get Drew's phone from Sheree. So, Kenya says, oh, Well, speaking of Drew's assistant, yeah, apparently y'all used to share that assistant. And that assistant is telling all your personal business, girl. Sheree said, I know you lying. She said, yeah, girl. He said, you owe him money and all. And Sheree said, well, I don't even use him that often, so I don't know what he's talking about and how I could owe him a bunch of money. Oh, I guess Kenya felt at that point that the playing field was even, you know. You done put out the tea about me, I done put out the tea about you. Let's talk about Drew. She got a bunch of drama going on anyway, because aside from the assistant that's over there telling all your business, her husband supposedly got some assistant that's offering to give him massages that he was supposed to fire, that he ain't fired, and we don't know what's going on with him and the assistant. So, girl, I don't know. Sheree said, well, yeah, she need to be worried about that and not this man talking about I owe him unemployment. Moving on. So the next stop is Drew's house, which is basically the set of a Lifetime movie. They have their chef preparing a meal for their family, and Ralph is a toddler in an adult's body who is about to have a whole tantrum because there's garlic in his food. And they have to convince him that it's mild and it's okay, and money will grow out your pocket if you eat your vegetables. The kids are over there trying to, you just don't tell him the garlic is in it. That's not lying. You just not telling him. No, baby, that's lying by omission. But you shouldn't have to go through all that to convince your adult parent to eat the vegetables. So while they're sitting at the table talking, Drew brings up to Ralph that Candy brought up your assistant's Instagram, buddy. He's like, okay, and I fired her. Drew's like, yeah, but do you still talk to her? Ralph goes off on this whole tangent about, I didn't say we don't talk anymore. I said we don't do business. Like, girl, your husband is very single. This scene just was stressful to me. But let me just tell you what happened. To watch this conversation between Drew and Ralph is like secondhand abuse. Honestly, it's intolerable. It's stressful. It's triggering. This is crazy. If this is their real life, I don't know why they ain't been to Judge Tola yet. I do not understand why they ain't on the docket in divorce court, because this is sick. Like, they don't need to be on Real Housewives of Atlanta. They need to be on intervention. This can't be it. Like, this cannot be the norm for the sake of, I want to say I have a spouse. I don't want to be single. Like, I don't understand why you would put yourself through this for the sake of having a man. I'm thinking Drew is the breadwinner. Like, she was the one on the game and all that stuff, and she is the one who's really contracted to be on Housewives. And I don't think your survival is dependent on this man. So why are we why are we putting up with this? But I'm off on a tangent. This mofo is talking to her about the whole firing the assistant, and yeah, I still talk to her even though Drew is in the confessional talking about how he puts her on tumble dry. Basically, he spins her in these circles and makes her feel crazy when she knows that she's not. The producer says something to her about, do you think he's gaslighting you? And she says, well, people say that, but I don't think that's true. Thank God the producer knew the questions to ask, because the baby don't know what gaslighting means. He said, well, do you know what gaslighting is? She looks up gaslighting, and the definition in general terms is basically playing with the person's mind to make them think that they're crazy when they're not. And she's like, oh, shit, this is pretty much what he does. Yeah, this ain't healthy. He is telling her, I know that, you might feel a certain way about other women because of how they look. And she's like, well, how did she look? What do you mean? And she's a 50-year-old woman. What does that mean? Like, you're saying a bunch of words that mean nothing, because some of the baddest women in the world are 50-year-old women. Janet Jackson is a 50-plus-year-old woman. Mary J. Blige is a 50-plus-year-old woman. You ain't saying nothing. And what you're doing is trying to play on and trigger her insecurities. You're trying to make it about her being insecure rather than you being unfaithful and untrustworthy. He starts telling her, you're the only person who says the issue is with her. Everybody else doesn't think the issue is her. You're the only person who thinks the issue is her. I'm the only other person in this marriage. I really don't give a damn what everybody else thinks. I really don't. You had it out for her from day one anyway. Bruh, what you need to do is go be single. I don't know if the situation is that you're attached to this woman for the purpose of maintaining a lifestyle, but this does not give a man who is married, a man who loves, a man who protects, provides, prays, none of that. Moving on. We move on to Kandi and Todd's house, where Kandi is on the phone handling business for a Broadway play that she has, which is an all-black production. It's the first of its kind on Broadway, and she's really, really excited about it. And she's talking to Todd about how she's going to need his support in the upcoming months to manage their lives. They're having this conversation about, you know, why are you talking to me like I don't always support you? And she's like, well, you know, you are always on vacation. And it sounds to me like Kandi and Todd live two separate lives. They are married and they are doing business together, but they live two separate lives. And honestly, I never really got from Kandi and Todd the happy in love, doting couple. I never really got that from them. And Kandi is in the confessional talking about how her and Todd are not on the same page. But that has basically been the theme and narrative of their marriage from the beginning. Like, they never really been on the same page. So what's new? Well, what is new is that Todd apparently has a condo in New Jersey. So Todd gets to explaining how he ended up with a condo of his own in New Jersey. And basically, it's a condo that he and his ex had together, that they purchased together. They broke up. She stayed in the condo for a while, apparently. She never refinanced it to get his name off of it. And then he ended up having to buy her out. So now he has a condo, and he and Kandi are standing there side-eyeing each other about, you know, what he's going to do with this condo. And he's telling her, well, you know, you're welcome to come by anytime. And she's like, well, my name ain't on that place. And Todd said, well, my name ain't on this place. So I said, oh. And Kandi said, well, I don't have a key to that place. He said, well, you can have a key. Yeah, Kandi ain't coming up off that deed. Kandi basically said, touche. You right. Your name ain't on it. Your name ain't going to be on it. So we'll talk keys instead of deeds. So they go into the confessional and let us know how they really feel. Kandi says, you know, he wants to share this place with me, but I ain't really feeling that because that was his place with his ex. And, you know, they done did whatever in there. And Todd said, well, the place she had when we met, she had done all kind of bumping and grinding and didn't even flip the mattress. I said, well, damn. What in the Harlem Nights I am in charge of the girls is you trying to say? So Kandi says to him, you know, listen, I feel like you're more interested in renovating that Jersey place than you are in finishing our place. And Todd is up there, but no, I'm not. Kandi said, yes, you are. And you're right. Of course, he's going to pursue what's in his best interest. And if his name ain't on that house, but my name is on this house, and I can go ahead and siphon a couple dollars, what I'm going to put my time and money into right now is what's going to pay off for me in the long run, rather than putting everything into what's going to pay off for you in the long run. That's kind of how that goes. Then we move on to this awkward ass meeting between Kandi and Marlo. Like, I get Marlo has a peach now, but these manufactured scenes are a bit hard to swallow. Marlo stops by just to harass her nerves, I guess, because they ain't really talking about nothing. Candy is letting us know, you know, how she knows Marlo, which is because she dated her godbrother. And she and Marlo have bumped heads because once she came on the show, she started treating Candy funny. So we see the flashback of Candy, you know, asking Marlo how she got her money and things of that nature. And maybe that's one of the reasons why, if you was trying to expose her activities, then maybe that's why she didn't quite take to you. We're moving on because ain't nothing really going on, but they filling some time. So we move on to see the guys getting together at Blaze. And is it just me, or when Todd got to Blaze, did the manager come up to him talking to him about the special, like the person in the barbershop that's selling stolen stuff? Why was he, yeah, man, I got these muscles. And Todd saying, yeah, you know, that sound good. Yeah, and I got this pasta and all. Todd, no, I don't want all that, player. Just give me the muscle. I just want to offer you a little bit of everything. Why was he leaning in his face, whispering like that? Like, did you used to sell illegal stuff? You sell food now, player. It's okay. So the guys arrive, and the guys that are meeting Todd there are Sonya's husband, Ross, and Drew's husband, Ralph. And they sit down and, you know, and they're talking about, you know, having more kids, having kids by busy, successful women. And Todd brings up that, yeah, look here, Ralph, let me talk to you, player, because I know Wreck-It Ralph might work at your house, but it's starting to spill over to mine, because I've been hearing a lot about this assistant situation you got going on. And, you know, when one of the women's is upset, all of the women's is upset, because if her husband doing X, Y, and Z ain't but 6 degrees of separation to mine. So let's just make sure ain't nothing going on. And so, yeah, now you done upset everybody's households. And so Todd want to talk about it. Todd and Ross are falling out laughing at Ralph about his whole I'm a man response to this text and his defense for the I'm a man response. Like, Ralph, you sound dumb. And let me tell you, I'm not even about to try to sit up and rehash, repeat, think about, make sense of what Ralph was saying, because he was literally talking in circles. Like, it made no sense. But the bottom line is, Drew shouldn't have been going through his phone, and they wouldn't be dealing with this. I can't. Moving on. So we move on. We get to see Marlo sending her nephew to homecoming, and she's giving him the experience that she never got to have. And she gives us, you know, some insight into her background about being in foster care, the abuse she endured from her mom, and, you know, how it really does her heart a lot of good that she's able to provide her nephews a lifestyle that was not available to her. Then we get to the end of the episode, which is watching Ralph love bomb Drew and then just absolutely crash the evening. Ralph orchestrates this whole day-long date kind of thing, where he has sent in makeup artists and stylists and hairdressers and all of these people that are coming in to make her up for this special date night. He sends a driver, has her driven over to this location, has the red carpet rolled out for her, and then proceeds to just drag her. And she's talking about, you know, how nice this evening is, but how, you know, she does want to make sure that they actually work through whatever issues they have so that they can have a healthy, happy relationship. And Ralph's reasoning for his reaction is going to be that this wasn't the time or place for this conversation, which is what he ended up saying, something about we shouldn't be trying to fix anything tonight. However, for a woman, it is difficult to sit and just play along like everything is okay when everything is not. When you disappear for weekends, you have an assistant that you basically told me to mind my damn business about while she talking on Instagram. You know, dress me up for a night, and I'm supposed to play like none of that is going on. That women don't work like that. We just don't. Drew is explaining to him that, you know, she doesn't want to upset the evening but she's often afraid to really say how she feels. She's always walking on eggshells, even in that moment. She was walking on eggshells because she doesn't want to ruin the night. And he starts going into, I'm assuming Dr. Ken is his therapist or something. And he's telling her these things that the doctor has supposedly said about her. Dr. Ken says that you do this, and Dr. Ken says that you have zingers, and he's doing this to check her, to bring her down a notch, that, you know, the doctor is who said you're the problem. And so Drew said, so we bringing up what Dr. Ken said, because if we bring it up what Dr. Ken said you a maniac. So, I mean, what we talking about by Dr. Ken? Drew, baby, if Dr. Ken, somebody who is licensed and qualified to diagnose, has told you that this individual is a maniac, I think you need to be working your way toward the door. And Ralph, he starts to flip out about, you know, you can't call me a maniac, and how can you throw back something Dr. Ken said to me? Bruh. And Drew said, but you were just saying to me what Dr. Ken said. So why can you say to me what Dr. Ken said about me, but I can't say to you what Dr. Ken said about you? Because he's abusive. That's why. He's still going off about he's not a maniac. You don't know what a maniac is. A maniac is an unstable person. Well, Exhibit A. Drew starts trying to apologize and, you know, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend. And he's, no, you're not sorry. And she, no, I really am. Let me tell you something. I don't take this kind of stuff lightly. Ralph gives me Ike Turner vibes. He just does. All abuse, you know, it's not always physical. It ain't always Ike style. You know, it is the gaslighting. It's, you know, playing with your head. It's playing with your self-esteem. It's, you know, making you question your intuition, making you question your value as a woman. It's all of those kinds of things. Those are forms of abuse. This was just like, it's like, what am I watching? Ralph is telling her, you know, just try to have a good night. She's like, well, you know, does that mean that I can't express myself? Because if I can't express myself, then what are we doing? And he has a tantrum about how I can't do nice things for you, and this was a mistake, and I regret doing this. Child, let me tell you something. Don't take this the wrong way, because I love marriage, I love love, I love healthy, happy relationships. But if you are not in a healthy, happy relationship, if you are in a hellish relationship, just to say you got a relationship, or because you want somebody to take you to dinner and have a reason to dress up, you can dress up for no damn reason and take yourself to dinner. Drew walks off crying and sad, and that's the end of the episode. Like, let me tell you something. I used to be afraid of being single, and I have been single for years now. And something I have learned in my single season is it's okay. It's better than okay. You can be happy by yourself. You don't have to let nobody beat you, mistreat you, cheat on you, lie to you, diminish you. You don't have to put up with that to be happy. And it's okay to be by yourself for a while. If it takes a season of just you to get to the right person, that's okay. Because it's better to be alone and happy than to be paired and miserable. I guarantee it. That's my PSA for today and the end of this episode. Thank you so much for coming down here, listening to me, and let me get it off my chest. As always, in the meantime, until next time, I love you, mean it. Bye.